The All Things TechIE podcast is a product of the Extreme Media Network. For advertising and sponsorship opportunities, please visit www.extrememedia.ie. That's XTREME media.ie.
Making sense of the world of technology from an Irish perspective. This is All Things TechIE.
Hello, hello, hello. Justin Dawson with you. It's the All Things TechIE podcast. Tuesday, the 12th of November. And apologies once more, listeners, if I haven't been around. It's been a very, very, very busy time. Family is going to be growing soon to an extra member in the Dawson household. So won't be attending the Learning Technology Space Management Group, the LTSMG conference. That's taking place tomorrow, so we're on the eve of the LTSMG. And I caught up with the guys earlier in the week, and they told me what to expect at the LTSMG 2019. Check it out.
Once again, it's rolled around to another Learning Technology Space Management Group conference. It's held every year. Adam has been given the role of pretty much telling us all about it because Jonathan has bailed out on us today. But Adam, you have been involved in this for many years now. How many conferences have we done now at this stage?
So I've been part of the exec team since 2016 when we hosted it at the University of Hertfordshire. I've been a member. I'm pretty sure I went to the very, very first one, which was about 25 years ago in Leicester. So I've been a member for years, and I've been to multiple conferences across, lots of different universities across the country. Really enjoyed it. And then when sort of the call went out a couple of years back saying anybody want to host a conference, I sort of, jumped to the chance. Well, I would say jump to the chance. I volunteered, and it was absolutely really successful. It sort of coincided with being asked to join the exec team and a bit of a rebrand of the group and stuff like that. So when we run it at Hertfordshire, we're using all the new logos and the new way of doing things and a bit of a new structure for the group. So really, really successful, and we kind of used it as a launch pad going forward.
Now let's go back there 25 years ago. I know even last year when my first LTSMG, we had about 30 to 35 different trade stalls, I think, in the room.
Yeah.
How many would you have had back 25 years ago?
So I think when it first started, it was kind of a little bit of a smaller, let's get a load of people together and talk about some issues of the day. I don't recall there being any, but there may well have been a couple of sponsors. But as the group developed over the years, it generally ran with about average of about six to eight sponsors. I think there were times where there was more, there was times when there were less, as it moved around different places. But so University of Warwick, which we did in 2015, that conference there, that was the first significant jump. So that was up to about 25, I think. When we came to Hertfordshire, we had a bit more space, so we just added more. We sort of filled the space we had, which was really good. Gave us a lot more opportunity to showcase some different technologies. So that's kind of a good number for us. We had 35 last year. We're at 31 this year, I think. Mm-hmm. It's one of these conferences because it goes around to different venues. It kind of has to flex and to suit the location. So we're actually in a really good position where it's seen as quite a good thing to do by manufacturers and vendors and other sponsors. So
we must explain to our listeners, just in case some are not in the higher ed capacity, this is all technology managers and audiovisual and IT managers coming together from not only UK and Ireland. I think we have some members in Malta as well, don't we?
We've got members in Australia, the US, Singapore, Hong Kong, quite a few countries around the world. Not vast numbers, but the majority of it is UK based. But it's AV, learning space, technology managers in those kind of roles within those institutions, higher education institutions.
And the great thing is, not everyone gets to go to Integrated Systems Europe. No, not everyone gets to go to Infocom. And some people say Infocom and ISE, it's very private sector trade based, whereas we are specializing in the higher ed capacity. We have questions that we need answers to in higher ed that is sometimes missed at these trade shows and trade affairs, like the size of ISE and Infocom.
Yeah, so it's we tend to be very focused. So the vendors that turn up and the sponsors that come to us, they tend to bring technology that is very education focused. I mean, not all of it, but there's a lot of overlap. But things that they're targeting education to sell to. So it's this relevant technology to us, which is really good. It's really useful to see that mix of stuff within a sponsored exhibition. The beauty of the LTSMG group really is, you were saying about people don't get to go to IS. Our sort of unique selling points really is we fully fund using the sponsors' money. Really, we can pay for everybody's hotel accommodation and basically look after them from the time they arrive in the host town, city, venue, whatever, until they leave. So it's really good. It does give people the opportunity to come along who don't generally get opportunity to go to things like that. We kind of make it a good time. It's good fun to go to. There's a lot of interesting content within the presentations as well. I mean, this year we've got Amazon as our keynote speaker talking about integration of voice control into education and AV services. So that's really, really interesting. We got Avixa as a big supporter of us. So we've got Ben doing a bit of an update for the members, and we've got the world famous Chuck Espinoza turning up as well.
Now, there's been a lot of rumors going on about what Chuck Espinoza is doing at this. So this is where I'm going to bring in Dave. Dave is leading up the hosting the conference this year. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Justin. How's it going?
Yeah. So tell me, fair play to you on offering to host this. I remember Adam tried to get me to host it in Ireland, and then I seen how much the logistics were in getting something like this involved, and I backed away slowly. It really does. I say it's a full year in the planning of getting all these participants to come to your college.
I love the way that whenever anyone says to me about hosting LTSMG, they sort of say it with an air of congratulations and perhaps sympathy. But no, it's a really, really exciting opportunity. And in fact, I would say it's not just a year in the planning, it's more like 2 years in the planning. Okay. Certainly that's how it's been for us here in Cambridge. The first initial conversations that I had with Adam and Jonathan was just at the closing session at University of Hearts 2 years ago, when the guys sort of pinned me in the corner and said, "So Cambridge 2019, then how do you feel about it?" And I'd already made some noises about the idea of the group coming to Cambridge at some point in the future. And it felt like 2019 was going to be the right time to host it here at the University of Cambridge.
Now, last year was my first LTSMG in the Olympics Park, and having a fantastic meal on the second night. You're not going to give away any surprises. We've mentioned Chuck Espinoza's name. I heard there was supposed to be a karaoke theme, and then I heard it's been quietened down a bit. So is there going to be AV Roki going on at the LTSMG this year?
Well, Chuck is going to be joining us at LTSMG. We're very excited about that. But I think that it's always good to leave certain elements of the program, particularly the entertainment, as a surprise. So let's not give too much away at this stage. But, who knows what's going to happen on that infamous Wednesday night of LTSMG.
And now, of course, I always think logistically wise, it's getting everyone here to the LTSMG, and also the transport, the accommodation and everything. And I guess being an older university, is the transport good around your university?
Well, it's a good question. And in fact, that's actually been one of the biggest challenges for us guys organising it this year, is that it's quite a different setup sort of geographically in Cambridge than it is with most of the other universities that we visited that are what we know as more of a traditional campus university, if you like. Now in Cambridge, it's very different to that. The university is spread all across the city. It comprises quite a large part of the city, but it is rather spread out. So we've got roads and shops and parks and everything that split up the university and the colleges, and it does make it a bit more interesting getting around. So the biggest challenge probably for us this year with bringing the event to Cambridge is actually going to be getting the 31 sponsors loaded into our city centre exhibition venue, which really is in the dead centre of the city. It's right next to the market square, which is a really central location. But we've got a great team at the venue who are used to loading in large exhibitions and events, so they're going to be all over that for us.
Like I'm just looking at the actual schedule here. It has. I'm really interested in the Amazon Alexa doing the keynote speech. Is there many campuses across the UK, Adam and Dave, that are using Alexa in their campus? I guess you are, Adam.
So there's a few, yeah, who've been developing some systems with Amazon. So we're doing some proof of concept work with them. So I've actually got sort of a teaching room set up that does work by voice control, but it's very basic at the moment. But we just sort of trying a few things out, and I don't know. I'm sort of a bit, unconvinced scalability that a teaching room is the right place for a little Echo Dot to sit on the lectern, but actually meeting rooms, I think there's a lot we can do with it. The University of Hertfordshire, for example, we use this Ask Hearts app.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a bit of a triage. Any student just go on and ask, how can you solve this problem for me? And he points you in the right direction. But actually in a meeting room, I mean, if you want to book a room, order some coffee or whatever, then, potentially there is options that we can use that for. So we're still trying it out. There's some universities, I think, in America that have used it within student residencies. So there's something to ask, and it's very localized as well. So Alexa, what time does my physics lecture start, or something like that, and it can give you the information sort of personalized to you. So there's a few things we're playing with at the moment.
It sounds like something that I think is going to roll over into the panel debate that's going to be later in the day, after Ben and after Mike Broman there, because I always think in voice controlled areas like that, we have enough difficulties with touch panels and basic controls with both lecturers and faculty members and students messing with our AV equipment to add in voice control into a room.
Well, I don't know. It's a strange thing, really. I mean, I'm sort of the opinion. I need to word this very carefully. So
don't worry, it's recorded. We can everything.
So when you're at home, right? Everybody at home has got an element of smart devices now. Whether it's smart speakers like Amazon or the various equivalents there is. People have got Netflix, they've got streaming services on the TV, Sky Q, and all that kind of stuff, right? So Hive heating, lights, and all that sort of stuff that you can control via your phone, your iPad, your voice. When people come into university and standing in a teaching room, all of that ability that they've got to control everything at home seems to disappear. And there is the perception there is a struggle to use some of the things that we do. Our touch panels are really, really simple, but we have comments back that they're complicated to use. So obviously our UI and our user experience in the rooms is not quite where it should be to mimic what it's like to use your stuff at home. So yeah, I think we need to make that experience for the academics in a teaching room really, really seamless. There should be no joining tax to go into a room and sort of start teaching. So we need to refine that. And if voice control is something that can help us do that, because it's something that people have in their home, then it's worth investigating, if nothing else.
Now, coming back to you, Dave. Now we mentioned that Ben and Chuck is going to be from Abixa are going to be at the LTSMG this year. Is Chuck doing a CTS prep course beforehand?
That's right. We've been fortunate that at the university we're hosting a 3-day CTS prep course on the Monday through Wednesday. That's taking place at Robinson College, just slightly more on the outskirts of the city. It's a lovely venue, and it's really exciting that we're able to host the course and with Chuck himself.
Now, to both of you guys, mainly Adam, who's representing John at the moment because he bailed out on us. Is this something that could be tapped into in the future with the LTSMG? Do you think that it could be an opportunity for people that don't have their CTS to say, well, guys, if you want to come over, we can run a bit of a CTS prep course attached to LTSMG, or would that be just too long of a week-long event for the LTSMG?
It's one of those things, isn't it? I mean, being out of the office for 3 days for some people is quite hard work. Being out of the office for 5 to do a prep course and then a conference after that, could be impossible. It could be quite easy. So it's one of those things we kind of need to look at and kind of need to, work with Avixa just on timings and locations. If it works like it did this time, where the prep course could run in Cambridge just before our conference, which was really kind of fortunate. There was a little bit of wiggling in there, but it was kind of fortunate that we could make it come together. But it's something we can look at in the future if it I think we've mentioned as well the tech managers training, that would fit really nicely with us. And I think so. It's just investigating with Avixa whether that's possible and how we come about getting them booked together and making sure that they get enough people attending to make the course a viable option for them.
Now, is there anything on these trade stalls that both you guys are really looking forward to? I know you get to play with toys every day, Adam. So I'm gonna aim that question at Dave.
Well, I get to play with a fair selection of toys as well, which is great. I'm hoping that I do get some time to go around the stalls this year, because we've got such an exciting and varied lineup of, as Adam said, 31 sponsors this year. I suppose one of the first ones that jumps out of me, it has to be Mersive. They're really pushing the boundaries in terms of wireless presentation. And it seems every few months there's a new feature on their Solstice product that's really worth looking at.
Really gutted that I'm going to be missing it, but I'm on baby watch, for the next. It would have been too close to say to my wife, oh, by the way, I'm going away for 3 days gallivanting. It's all work related, but with.
It happened to me last year. I mean, I had a 4-week-old baby when I was turning up to, setting up LTSMG. So, I wasn't around as much as the other guys were hoping, really. I was sort of drifting in and out as they're trying to logistics of 35 people coming in with trucks and everything. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, I've got to go now because I've got to get home.
God, I should have thought of that one 9 months ago.
Yeah. It does take a lot of planning, that.
Yeah, it does. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, I'm going to be looking forward to seeing all the tweets, all the photos up. You have the LTSMG Facebook page, you have the hashtag of LTSMG, and of course the website, LTSMG. I better make this sure. LTSMG.co.uk. Yes, I was going to say .uk, but it's .co.uk.
Yeah, the hashtag is LTSMG 19.
19. Okay, right. Okay. And wish you the best on it, Dave. Fair play once again for setting this all up. I hope you enjoy it as much as the planning that went into it.
Yeah, we're really, really looking forward to welcoming all the delegates over to Cambridge in a couple of weeks' time. It's going to be a very different event to last year at Loughborough, London. The classical city of Cambridge and the University of Cambridge, we're really looking forward to welcoming everyone over.
Technology from an Irish perspective. This is the All Things TechIE podcast.
It is indeed the All Things TechIE podcast. Yes. So many things have been happening around the world of technology, including Avixa issuing, I like this, listeners, Avixa issues the latest edition of the CTS can't speak tonight. The Certified Technology Specialist Exam Guide Third edition. The guide features updated and extended coverage of the new technologies. For more than 30 years, Avixa has administered the CTS program, which recognised worldwide as the leading AV professional credential. There are 3 CTS credentials: General CTS, which I have, Design CTS-D, and Installation CTS-I. There are currently 12,000 CTS holders globally, and over 2,000 of them are CTS-D or CTS-I holders, and only, I believe, 8 or 9 CTS holders in Ireland. In this third edition of the CTS exam guide, they've updated and extended the coverage of AV technologies such as this, and at the same time simplifies the explanations of difficult technical concepts. Sent Andy Cedar, author of the CTS exam guide, third edition. In addition to featuring even more of Avixa's ever-expanding suite of AV standards, the guide presents a global reach to terminology and measurements. The guide covers all current CTS exam objectives, including how to conduct a site survey, develop an AV project scope, troubleshoot and repair AV solutions. But it also incorporates designated sections on Avixa's display image size for 2D content in audiovisual systems and audio, video and control architectural drawings symbol standards. That's probably the new things that's in the latest edition of the CTS exam guide, and I think a lot of new questions there as well. So I recommend anyone that's studying the CTS maybe want to update on the new book. Irish Research Council to stage live projection show in Dublin City this week for Science Week 2019. To mark Science Week 2019, 10th to the 17th of November, the Irish Research Council will stage a live projection show at Bernardo Square, Dame Street in Dublin 2. The light show will display the work of researchers funded by the Irish Research Council. The show will go live and will be on display every evening from 6 p.m. to midnight until Sunday the 17th of November. I must try and get in and have a look at this. Projected from the adjacent Dublin City Hall, the show will be visible on the side of the well-known Dublin City Council building on Bernardo Square. The live show features questions inspired by the work of Irish Research Council awardees funded under the Council's Laureate and Kolesk Awards scheme. It aims to raise public awareness about the importance of research being done into areas of vital human interest. The questions included are: can we devise new therapies for cancer that resist existing drugs? How can we reduce waterborne infection outbreaks? And why is seafood the key to smarter urban consumption? I want to see this light projection show. I'll try and get some photos and stick them up on the All Things TechIE website, www.allthingstech.ie. Air, the Irish mobile phone company, of course, they have offered €10 tariffs, €9.99 tariffs. I can't wait to be out of my mobile phone tariff, listeners. I am currently being charged €65 a month. Ridiculous amount of money. I can't wait to be out of my tariff and be able to switch to this new tariff, which is just internet only. I'll stick the information up on the show notes on the All Things TechIE website. But Air is behind the scheme, so you go onto the website and just sign up to the new €9.99 tariff, and I think it's all you can eat data and phone calls as well, which is really a good incentive, and I think really good incentive for students and the likes. They don't offer any upgrades of phones or anything like that. It's just if you want a cheap tariff. But Air launches the Ireland's largest 5G network across 10 cities and towns. Air today launched its new 5G mobile network, which has gone live in 10 towns and cities across the country, beginning with the 100 5G sites across Ireland's 5 largest cities. Dublin, Cork, Limerick, Galway and Waterford, as well as Carlow, Castlebar, Dundalk, Drogheda and Kilkenny. It will allow Air customers to enjoy the unrivaled speed and reliability that 5G offers, with peak speeds of over 1 gigabits per second. Another 100 sites will be launched in the coming weeks, bringing the coverage to Athlone, Bray, Ennis, Letterkenny, Sligo, Tralee and Trim in time for Christmas. A further 100 sites will be added early in the new year to bring the total number of towns and cities with Air 5G coverage up to 20. 5G is available to Air customers on a range of 5G devices, including the Samsung A90 5G, the Samsung S10 5G, and the Samsung Note 10 Plus 5G, and the Huawei Mate 20X 5G, with prices starting from only €99. Air CEO Caroline Lennon said, "I'm delighted to launch Air's 5G network, giving our customers widespread access to the next generation of mobile connectivity." And more details on the All Things TechIE website about that new changes. Facebook has said it's still reliant on users to flag issues that it may have missed. Facebook has admitted that it's unable to track all political adverts on its platforms as the company faces continued pressure to ban them entirely. You know, I was watching a brilliant documentary on Netflix about Cambridge Analytica, and my goodness, like, it really puts things in perspective of how many accounts were manipulated, what stats were behind Cambridge Analytica, and how many elections has that affected is absolutely anyone's guess, listeners. But really scary statistics on from Cambridge Analytica. I'll try and find the name of the documentary and put it up on our show notes.
Audio visual from an Irish perspective. This is the All Things Techie podcast.
Now, from I always forget how that image ends. Mysterious WhatsApp battery drain on OnePlus has users confused. This is from Silicon Republic. Reports from OnePlus owners experience significant battery drain because of WhatsApp have sprung up globally with no clear cause. If you own a OnePlus phone and have noticed your battery drain much faster than usual, you're not the only one. A number of reports have appeared on the company's own user message boards as well as Reddit, claiming that WhatsApp has started draining their batteries significantly more than other apps. OnePlus owners have also taken their frustration out on the WhatsApp Google Play Store page. According to Android Authority, problems first seem to occur after the latest WhatsApp update to version 2.19.308 and both Android 9 and 10 on OnePlus phones. I see WhatsApp have also brought out a new privacy feature where you can fingerprint scan. I tried it out. I didn't like it. If you have a phone that has a fingerprint scan function to get into your phone, do you really need to have a security feature again if you want to access your WhatsApp? It was useful at times. I just thought like it was a bit of a pain, and I said to myself, my phone is already protected by a fingerprint scan, so why would I want a second one? In other news, I see that Copperleaf Media listeners have brought out a research into AV awards. And apparently the AV awards are the hardest to win in Europe, while some other award schemes are dominated by the same companies every year, according to the independent, that's the key word, listeners, independent research by Copperleaf Media. The AV awards are in England, the ones that I've been in twice for European CTS Holder of the Year, and I got into the finals of that, and AV Professional of the Year, and I didn't enter the AV Awards for 2019. But the AV Awards are the most competitive in Europe, with just 4.43% of submitted entries winning an award, and are second only to the NAM, the National Association of Music Merchants Tech Awards, globally as the most difficult to win by this measure. However, some award schemes are dominated by the same companies every year. Well, I think the AV Awards is dominated by the same companies every year. That's a personal opinion by me. 10 companies have won 65% of the Reader's Choice Technology Awards, and 8 companies have won 47% of the Innovate Technology Awards, based on the analysis of technology category awards over the last 5 years. These are among the findings of the AV industry's first ever research report, covering what is described as the somewhat hazy world of industry awards by AV marketing agency Copperleaf Media. In the wide-ranging 40-page document, the agency reports on the 20 award schemes in Europe and North America. Research was conducted by telephone interview with the majority of award organisers and by online research. The report aimed to answer the three main questions. In the time, effort and cost worth is it against the potential exposure an entrant might receive? Is the judging process credible, making it an award that actually means something? Could there be bias or in the award as well? And to answer these questions, Copperleaf performed three key tasks: research into how each award is managed and judged, analysis of how transparent the process is and whether there is an opportunity for bias, and finally, review of what shortlisted and winning companies receive in the terms of exposure. The report also includes a history of all product and technology winners over the last 5 years in an at-a-glance view of who won and which award when, in addition to a number of charts and tables summarising the finding for each award. Copperleaf director Roland Hemming commented, "Clients frequently come to us asking advice on which award to enter. While we had our opinions, of course, and plenty of experience, our advice was only an anecdotal at best, so we decided it's about time we had some real data to draw up upon. As nothing of that nature actually existed, we decided to do some research ourselves, which turned out to be a fascinating process. So often we hear the mutterings of unfairness or bias about who won what," added fellow director Kira Leeming. "This is the first attempt to uncover the truth about how all these awards really operate and what companies can really get out of them." And you know what? I'd love to hear our listeners' opinions on this survey. Now, again, I love to have my hand on this survey. Apparently, you have to buy the full survey, but interesting the stats that I just read out, and I'll put those stats up on the All Things TechIE website under our show notes. But apparently, the report is available to download from the Copperleaf Media website, but it is £95 to buy. I love if it was. I know it costs to do this type of research, listeners, but if they could give some more information out of which award categories are the best and which are not. I'm sure the information will become available over time on social media when people buy this awards research. But one thing that bugs me, listeners, okay, there is different AV awards. The AV awards in London, big awards, costly experience if you're trying to fund it by yourself. If you're a big company, people buy tables and they make a big night out of it. It's a black tie affair. There's hundreds of tables. I think that in 2018 there was 110 odd tables in this massive venue in the Grosvenor Park Hotel. They've now moved venue this year. But what I like in one of the awards that I won was the AV Nations Award, which is a Reader's Choice Award done online. Yes, there's no award ceremony, there's no dinner, and there's no champagne reception, etc., etc. But what means a lot to me is the fact that readers and bloggers and AV professionals around the world were able to vote on this free of charge. And then it was collaborated, and there was different rounds, and myself and Joe Way got into the finals, and then I picked him to the post. I don't know how, but that meant a lot to me, because you, the listeners, and AV people and people around the world voted for me. Yes, similar with judges and for the AV awards, but you have to pay into these awards. And the point is, if you're an AV professional as an individual, trying to submit your entry on your own, it's a costly experience. There's the AV Technology Europe Awards, that's only started in the past 2 years or 3 years. And then there's Rave, who literally go out and go to different trade shows, and they vote on what's the best trade store stand. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think any of these companies at the trade shows are buying into the Rave Awards. So sure that you as a company have to buy your entry into these awards. I honestly, personally believe no, you shouldn't. I think if there's an awards, that it should be okay if you want to go to the ceremony, whether it's in London, whether it's in Germany, Amsterdam. The first AV Tech Europe Awards was after ISE. Now it took place in London last. But I think, okay, if you want to go to an awards ceremony, fine, buy your dinner or whatever the case may be and have a great night. Should you have to pay £200+ sterling to enter an award as a company or as an individual? I don't think so. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. You can tweet me at Justin or Dawson. You can use the hashtag AllThingsTechie or visit our website www.allthingstech.ie.
Technology from an Irish perspective. This is the All Things Techie podcast.
That's all for this episode of the All Things Techie podcast. Simon will be back with me next episode. A very quick episode. Who knows when I'll be back, because baby number 2 is on the way. For those attending the LTSMG conference, enjoy yourselves. Have a drink for me, because I'm not attending. In the next couple of weeks I'll be changing a lot of nappies, and I will be back with you with more episodes before the Christmas period, talking about the best tech gadgets to buy for Christmas. I was looking through a list, and just some of the things that might pop up. You know, energy saving bulbs, Internet of Things, light bulbs, gimbals, Fitbits and watches that are smartphone compatible. One that really interests me: in-ear headphones, wireless Bluetooth headphones, lenses for your phones. Do you want an action camera? GoPro Hero Black, $399. No, I don't want one. Smartwatches? No, one that really interests me. The one thing that did really sort of pique my interest was a headlamp for $40. I have a great headlamp, actually. I can't even remember who makes it. I'll find out for you and put it on the show notes. And but what would be your smart device or technology device that you would like for Christmas? Let us know on the All Things Techie podcast. And for me, Justin Dawson, and Simon and all the team, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.
Making sense of the world of technology from an Irish perspective. This is All Things Techie.
The All Things Techie podcast is a product of the Extreme Media Network. For advertising and sponsorship opportunities, please visit www.extrememedia.ie. That's XTREME media.ie.